For those of you just joining, I'm Nancy Sheed of Sheed Communications. I'm really excited and chatting away, for probably far longer than we should with George Stevens of G Sharp Design, and he's a fantastically fun and very smart book designer. And so, George, if people come to you, or again, in your 20 years of doing this, and you got put on the spot, like, what would you say makes good book design, or what are the things somebody needs to know about book design, right? And this isn't necessarily what's the best trending color, right? But
Right.
what are the elements you're looking for, or that you're looking for to convey, or you want your author client to walk away with?
Yeah, I think that a couple things that I would like the author client, I like that to walk away with would be, or to understand up front, is that first of all, book design is a specialty, right? Book design is a process. It's not transactional. It shouldn't be quick definitively. You should have to spend a little bit of time. I'm not saying we have to take years on this thing, but don't expect an overnight turnaround on this. And part and parcel of that is that you need to expect to be involved in it.
Right.
I think the best projects that I have been a part of are the ones where the author is really hands-on in the right way. They're giving me what I ask of them. Yeah, because I know what you're. There's also hands-on in the wrong way.
Hands-on in the right way. I like that. I know
That's
how
right.
to do like avatar for my ideal client.
Yes, exactly. Hands-on in the right way. So yeah, absolutely. I think you just need to consider that you're going to be that something is going to be asked of you. Your input is invaluable to the process. But in terms of what makes great book design, yeah, we could get into trends and all those things, and those change over time. But as I mentioned, I think a great book design endures. I think that is the sort of the quality that I could assign to a really great book design. Is this going to look great in 5 years, in 10 years, in 25 years? The styles might come and go a little bit, but I think a really sound and powerful design will still make sense, right? As long as the subject matter hasn't completely,
Right.
the poles haven't inverted. I think that a really great design is going to stand the test of the time and look, like something that still matters. And I think, the opposite side of that coin is that like ephemeral design is not going, well, definitively
Right.
not going to last, right? I mean, so I think, to get enduring design, it really does take like a really mindful approach on the part of both the author and the designer. It is a collaboration. It is, I seek to be kind of establish a real relationship with my clients, which sounds a little cheesy, but I really do, because I think, I think that it is just critical. A book is an extremely, a nonfiction especially is an extremely like personal work. It is the sum of all your experiences, and
You're getting some thumbs up on Facebook right now. So you were saying things people are agreeing with. So
excellent.
Right, exactly.
Good to have the affirmation. Well, yeah, I think that I think it's a real tragedy when I see a book with a cover that looks like it was slapped on, or that it was just kind of pulled out of a competition site or something like that, because I think that so much time and energy is put into the manuscript, the experiences that led to you writing this book,
Right.
everything that led to this moment. And I think it's natural that authors are maybe a little fatigued by the time they get to the design phase. They've been through the
wait till they get to the marketer.
I'm just gonna say, I can't really complain, because you're
Wait till they
after
get to me. They're like, what? More work?
Yeah. And, I just think you could say the same thing. I mean, this is publishing a really great book that's going to pay for itself, but also serve as this really incredible platform. It does take some work. And there's, it's like anything. There's a reason everybody doesn't have a successful book, because a lot of folks, frankly, are motivated to breeze through it.
Right.
So, I think I would just encourage, any author who's kind of at the precipice of whether it's design or you're just kind of thinking about your publishing process as a whole, just recognize that your words are super important. that your message is super valuable. But I do believe that, the design is going to be the front door to your book, and it's also going to be, the hallway they're walking down. It's going to be that full experience. So it really does behoove you to approach that mindfully and make sure that it's treated in the right way.
Said it so beautifully. I love that. Thank you. And I think that's part of the reason I wanted to, I wanted to just chat more with you, A, to learn about your process, but again, to educate the authors of all of these pieces, and kind of break down all of these parts. And again, the more informed you are going into this process of getting your book published, the more satisfactory it's going to be. But I think, like, again, even when you and I first spoke the first time, you're like, this guy needs PR. I was like, well, tell me a little more about this PR they're looking for, because again, just like you and creative director, PR versus kind of marketing versus, I want to say we're getting the online foundation ready for launching. There are all these nuances, but I think the more informed you are as an author, the more you know, and the more that people like us that you may choose to work with can tease that out of you. It just is a far more, satisfactory experience. And I think, just like I was going to ask you the question, when ideally does somebody come to you? Like, does the book need to be completely finished, edited in manuscript form and done? Could they start talking to you when they're in edit mode? What is that in their timeline? When should they start thinking about talking to you if they're not, kind of locked into a publishing house or a, sure, kind of a done for you project?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And I think, the answer will, of course, be a little unique to your situation, wherever you find yourself, and how many rounds of editing that you plan on investing in and that sort of thing. But, for me, I have people come to me with a completely finished manuscript, and they're like, I just need to give this thing a body,
right.
Right. But then, quite often I have authors who are building out, maybe they're going through a developmental edit and they're thinking, gosh, I need to have, a graphic suite built for my book. Okay. And I want to have the cover design because the aesthetic that's defined by this cover is going to inform all these graphics, which I think is important. So, if you're doing a book that's going to have a lot of pieces, parts within it that you need to be, custom designed, you need to think about the kind of bigger picture here, and the fact that you want those graphics to look and feel like they belong in your book. I mean, sometimes I'll be doing a layout and somebody will say, well, here's some graphics for the book. And it's like this graph from over here and this chart from over here. And I'm thinking, well, let's talk about, refreshing these and making it look like they belong. Right. So, that's a little bit of an all over the place answer. Just kind of, I guess, think about your project. I think it is important to, if I can design your cover before the manuscript's finished, you can start marketing it, right? You can start teasing
That's where I am. I'm like, give me that cover. Let's get
exactly.
The page up.
So very, very common that I'll have the cover, and then there might be a little bit of a layoff before we start into the manuscript. So my opinion is really what I typically tell people is, as soon as your title is defined, because that is the key ingredient. As soon as you have a title, let's get going on the cover.
And I even say, the sub, things can, this is a digital world, right? Sure. Get a placeholder, right? Get something 90% there, right? Mm-hmm. And we can, that might make you cringe when I say that, but
no. I agree completely, especially for the subtitle. The main title, because it will potentially be a little more integrated into the design. Typically, if something is going to be integrated into the design in terms of copy, it's going to be the main title. So focusing on that, I think it's a priority. The subtitle, we can piece that in and out as needed. But I do think the earlier the better. Ideally. To get going on your cover is going to serve you better as an author, because you can start the hype train, get that going, and then we'll pick up on the manuscript when it's ready.
So it's never too soon to contact George.